learn how to administrate grace and how to administrate love. Glory be to God. Even the way you went through things recently was God's administration. People dogging you, people putting feces by your door, people doing crazy things to you. Shake somebody, say it was just the administration of God. God even hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he didn't even let Pharaoh, amen, be conducive to the, amen, the move of God. He hardened his heart. That was an administration of God. Even when God allowed the enemy, amen, to walk against you, and some of you, amen, will, amen, interpret it as warfare, but God said that's still my administration, because I'm not letting you come forth as a slouch. I'm not letting you come forth as somebody looking like they don't even know who I am, but you ought to thank God, for the Bible said it was good that I was afflicted, but I learned the ways and the statutes of the Lord. That's why a lot of people can box you and bind you, because they have not taught you how to serve God with $2 and how to serve God with no food and no money. Glory be to God. It was all a part of the administration. That's why when you get blessed, you're going to be sweet. You're going to be loving, because you know how it was to be abased and you know how it is to be abound. Grab somebody and tell your neighbor, God's management. It was God's administration the whole time. And glory be to God. I want you to understand something, that Moses was a good example of an administrative leader. Glory be to God. He built memorials. He told stories to remind the people of the great things that God has done for them. A lot of people, amen, you don't go through long enough to have a story. It's only the people, amen, that can tell you what God has done, because part of administration is giving instruction. That's why a lot of you, amen, can stand flat-footed and tell people, don't worry about that. God gonna bring you out. How do you know? Because I've been through some stuff and I've seen God bring me out, and I'm not making up my deliverance. I really was delivered. Oh, bakashanda. This not no Mother Goose rhyme. This not Walt Disney or some fake administration. I really almost lost my mind. I really was suicidal. Where the church at? I really, amen, was at the point when I was ready to give up. But nobody understands it was the grace of God and the administration of the Holy Ghost that I can tell stories and testimonies and tell you about his goodness and tell you about his greatness. And if you, amen, push me deeper, I might prophesy to you. If you push me, I may give you the word, because I understand, amen, what he has done that calls me to be an administrator in my leadership. Tell your neighbor, say, God in me keeps good files. And if you mess with me, I'll pull on a foul. And I go back into the archives and tell you he's a way maker. I go back to the archives and tell you he's a healer. We're the church, amen, that keeps good records. I know some of you need your friends to shout, but baby, tell your neighbor, I've been administrating this thing since he gave it to me. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, I have to administrate. And if I didn't administrate, I'd be out my mind. I've been on with crazy. It wasn't your encouragement. It was the archives of what God has done in my spirit. We're the people that can shout amen and wave your hand and say amen to somebody. Amen. High five somebody and tell them amen. It was God's administration. And that's why he became, amen, glory be to God. The disciples came back with a report. And that's what Jesus was trying to get them to do. He was trying to get them to come back with a report and not a parakeet. Every now and then God will let you go through some things so you can come back and say, my God, that power really works, because I had some demons shaking me. But if it had not been for God allowing evil to be in the midst of me, I wouldn't be able to have canvas to orchestrate the power of God. There's some things you can't pray away, because God said, I got the